Hey everyone, it is Shellshock here, and today I'm going to talk about the Nintendo Switch in 2018. Now, there's not a lot that we know of in 2018 that's coming out for the Switch so far, but it's only the beginning of the year. So, I might do a part 2 if we get some more information, like if the rumored Nintendo Direct is happening on Thursday. So, I'll do a part 2 if that's the case, but for now, let's just focus on this video. This is gonna be pure speculation. There's some stuff that's confirmed, but there's a lot of stuff that we don't know yet. And then I'm gonna toss in like my 2 cents on what I think we're gonna be getting this year. So January we're getting Lost Sphere on the 3rd. Oh sorry, 23rd. February we're getting Dragon Quest Builders February 9th. Then February 16th we get Bayonetta 1 and 2. Payday 2 comes out on the 27th of that month. Now, the following will be speculation. Like, no release dates from here on out are confirmed, other than one that's kind of vague, which we'll get to. So, March, I'm going to go with Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2 coming out on the 9th of that month. The reason why it would be on a Friday is because while Legacy Collections 1 and 2 already exists on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, I'm thinking that because of the fact that this is coming out on a Switch, it's going to come out on Friday. Kirby Star Allies would be on the 23rd. I'm thinking it's going to come out before Yoshi. April, um, I'm not sure exactly what Nintendo is planning on bringing out that month, and I'm not sure if there's going to be any major third parties releasing anything that month. I could be wrong, but I'm thinking that month will probably be one of those months where everyone gets a break. We'll probably get a couple of indie games, like a bunch of big indie games releasing that month. But May, I'm thinking we're gonna get a Fire Emblem Switch. I'm thinking that it was in development since right after Fates wrapped production. Once they finished Fates, they worked on this. So I'm thinking we're gonna get that in May 2018, like the 11th. I'm not sure what theme is gonna be. I'm not gonna speculate on that. But I did hear rumors where one of which has to do with pirates, but that would be cool, but I don't know. I'm not gonna get my hopes up on what we get out of that. And then on the 22nd, which is a Tuesday, Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. That's when I'm thinking we're gonna get it. The 22nd. If not then, the 29th. Both of those are Tuesdays. The reason why I would pick Tuesday is because it's a multi-platform game, so it's gonna come out on the same time as the other versions. So that's what I'm thinking. June would be Yoshi on the Switch, which it's not Woolly World 2, but rather it looks like something different. It looks like some sort of paper craft. But Yoshi looks a little different compared to the Woolly World. So I'm thinking that's going to come out on June 16th, and it should be after E3. Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus, the Switch version, will come out on the 27th. And the reason why is because I'm thinking that they're taking their time just to make sure that it's 100% polished on the Switch. And since it already came out on the other platforms, the Switch will get it then. Not sure what's going to come out in July, but August, we're probably going to get Project Octopath Traveler. Now, everything else is pure speculation. There's a lot of stuff that's announced but with no dates, and other games we don't know, like they're rumors. Pikmin 4 is rumored. I'm thinking we're gonna get Pikmin 4 at some point this year, and if we do, probably be like September or something. I'm thinking we're gonna get no Metroid. I'm gonna go out of my way and say there's no Metroid Prime 4 this year. It will be 2019. However, there's a good chance that we could be getting Metroid Prime Trilogy HD. So, same as the collection on Wii, and it was also re-released on Wii U via digital download. I'm thinking we're going to get Metroid Prime Trilogy on Switch with all three of those games now in full HD, and you can take them anywhere you want. So, that's a good selling point right there. So for those of you who miss out on Metroid Prime Trilogy, this will be your chance. Especially if you never own a Wii U or a Wii, but you would like to play these games in full HD. Or for me, I'm a huge Metroid fan, so of course I'm going to pick this up. Even though I have the trilogy already, I'll pick it up again because I want to support Metroid. I want to make sure the series keeps on going. I'm thinking we might get a few more ports just to tide like some time, just to hold people over. I'm thinking we might get ports of like maybe a port of the Wonderful 101. I'm not sure if we will because the game did not sell that well when it came out on Wii U. I'm also thinking we're probably gonna get a port of like Paper Mario Color Splash. I'm not sure if people would want that, but I have this weird feeling we're gonna get that. Even though that was like the last Wii U exclusive Nintendo game. For those of you who do want Color Splash on Switch, then I guess cool, but I'm not sure if they're gonna do that. But if they do, like I have this weird feeling they will. And I'm thinking we're probably gonna get a sequel to Super Mario Maker or like an expansion, like Super Mario Maker Deluxe or Super Mario Maker 2 or something, with a lot more stuff. I'm not expecting Smash this year. Maybe an announcement for Smash, but not released this year. Maybe next year. Next year would be like a lot of bigger stuff. Pokemon would be iffy. I'm thinking that if Pokemon comes out this year, it's going to be in the holidays. And not only Pokemon, but also Animal Crossing. I'm thinking we're going to get Animal Crossing this year. Pokemon, I don't think so. But I'm just saying, if Pokemon does, it'll be in the holiday season. Like November. Animal Crossing will probably be October. Like it'll come out before then. And Bayonetta 3, I'm skeptical on that too. I don't think that's going to be 2018. But if it is 2018, then I'm thinking it's going to be like September or October. And if it comes out in October and Animal Crossing also comes out in October, then Bayonetta will come out before Animal Crossing. Like Bayonetta 3. As far as sequels to like games that already exist, like let's say for example, Luigi's Mansion already has 2 games, one on GameCube and one on 3DS. So I could see one happening on Switch. I would like to see Luigi's Mansion 3. I would also like to see a new Pilot Wings, a new Excitebike, a new Wave Race. A lot of people are hoping for F-Zero. I would love a new F-Zero, but if it happens, I would not think it will come out this year. I'm not expecting F-Zero right now, but if it does happen, it's not going to be this year, unless it's been far into development. I'm also not expecting Mario Kart 9 this year or next year. Next year, we'll probably get an announcement, and it'll be released in 2020. Because I'm thinking that now that ARMS has finished production, and since they were the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe team, or rather Mario Kart 8 team, they're going to work on Mario Kart 9. And Splatoon, do not expect a sequel on Switch. I'm thinking a sequel to Splatoon wouldn't happen until sometime like in the next generation. I do think that Splatoon 2 is going to get a lot more updates. They might extend like how long they're going to do like updates on games, like let's say like for example more weapons and more maps and other stuff, maybe more modes. They said at least 1 year. We might get more. And we're going to get at least 2 years worth of Splatfest. So, as a matter of fact, we actually have Splatfest this week. Team Action versus Team Comedy. I haven't decided on what team I'm going to choose yet, but I'll figure that out this week. So, we'll see where that goes. So, yeah. Don't expect another Splatoon on Switch. 2 is all we're getting. Well, 2 is all we got, so we're not going to get anything else. I'm also thinking we might get like a couple of other games that we haven't seen in a while. I mean, there are people who say Mother, like Mother 3. I would like that, but until Nintendo shows off something, I'm not gonna believe any rumor that has Mother 3 in it. So I would like to be proven wrong that Mother 3 could actually happen sooner than we think. But for now, I'm just gonna have to wait on that. Um, let's see. So I'm also thinking that we're gonna get probably like Puzzle League. Maybe not this year, but I would like a new Puzzle League. I want Super NES Remix. Like, you know how we had NES Remix 1 and 2 on the Wii U and Ultimate NES Remix on 3DS? How about Super NES Remix, which is an ultimate like game that has a bunch of different Super Nintendo games with challenges and WarioWare style mini games? I would actually want that. It may or may not be this year, but I mean, I could see it coming out this year if Nintendo has been working on it. Um, I would say do that. I would also say a like a Wario game of some sorts, whether it be like a Wario Land or WarioWare. I think we're long overdue for a Wario Land game. It's been 10 years since we got Wario Land shaken on the Wii. I think it's time to get a new one. But the last WarioWare game was back in 2010, and that was Do It Yourself. And those like DSiWare expansion, whatever. Game and Wario doesn't count. That's his own game. It may have WarioWare characters, but it's not WarioWare. So I'd like to see WarioWare make a return. Um, let's see. Mario and Luigi 6 will be announced this year. That's my prediction. Wario like let's see, WarioWare Switch, Mario Luigi 6 may not come out this year. Um, Not expecting Rhythm Heaven anytime soon, especially since one of the guys who worked on the game, who sung some of the songs, has cancer, which is very unfortunate. So it sucks, but I wouldn't expect one anytime soon. Maybe down the road when things are better, like when he feels better, unless they're gonna have other people take over for him. But I don't know how I would feel about that. I wonder, would they make another Tomodachi Life game on Switch? Because if they do, then they have to go all out on that one. They would have to make it like this huge game. It would have to be bigger than any game in the series. And there's only been like a few, but like we've only ever got one, and that's on 3DS. Even though Miitomo is like a miniature version of it, like a miniature version, but it's really not the same thing. But if they decide to do a new Tomodachi Life, it would have to be like one of those like it's like something like The Sims. It has to be like bigger, a bigger scale. Like you have to make it exactly like The Sims, but like with Mii's and like more Nintendo humor. That's how I would do it. Um, have them do more than just like stay at home or whatever. Make it more expansive. Um, let's see other stuff. Um, Pokemon spinoffs. I do expect to see at least one this year. Since we're not gonna, I don't think we're gonna get a mainline Pokemon game this year. But I already mentioned about like the possibility of what if it comes out this year. But I'm thinking we're gonna get at least one spinoff. There's a bunch of them. Some of the long running ones being the Mystery Dungeon series, which started on Game Boy Advance and DS at the same time. I'm thinking we're gonna get one on Switch. This would be like the sixth game in the series because there was one on GBA/DS that was like two games. Then you had like two standalone DS games, and then you got two 3DS games. So this would be the sixth game. What I want out of that would be like some sort of like co-op adventure game where you and like other people could team up and go into dungeons and fight all those enemy Pokemon and complete objectives. I never really got into Mystery Dungeon, but I ended up buying what many people have told me was the worst one in the series, which is Gates to Infinity for 3DS, and I got a digital. That is a regret that I have, and I can't like take it back. So it's there. But I've heard Super Mystery Dungeon was good. But if they were to do like a bigger scale Mystery Dungeon game for the Switch, that would be amazing. Like I'm thinking that since the 3DS is winding down on development, I'm thinking that this is gonna be like the last full year from Nintendo themselves. Third parties might still release stuff. Like Atlas has a couple of RPGs coming along the way, and I'm thinking that a lot of those games that you normally would see on 3DS or DS, you'll see on Switch. Because there's gonna be games like since Nintendo combined both console and handheld like studios, like it's gonna give the Switch a lot more games than Wii U and 3DS. That way, they wouldn't split the user base. You're gonna get like a lot of smaller games, like smaller scale games, and you're gonna have like bigger games. I would honestly like to see a lot more games that like they try to take a lot of risks and it pays off for them. I like to see some more new IPs, but something like ARMS came out of nowhere. Like before the January presentation that happened last year for when they were promoting the Nintendo Switch, nobody knew what ARMS was. Nobody knew what One Two Switch was. Which one ended up being more successful of the two? One Two Switch actually sold a little more than ARMS, mainly because it has a certain appeal. I personally don't care for it. I personally don't care for One Two Switch. It's not something I would buy. But ARMS, however, is a pretty solid fighter. It's definitely a really good game. Very underrated. Mostly because not a lot of people seem to pick it up. Like, it had hype, and then it died down when Splatoon 2 came out, which is definitely better than the original game. Do I think that ARMS 2 will happen on Switch? Maybe down the road. Not now. But right now, like, the team is working on other projects. Mario Kart 9. Um, Mario Party, the reason why is because the last couple of Mario parties deviated, like they drifted away from the original formula. But I do want to see a Mario Party that goes back to that formula. I don't know what's gonna happen, but if it ever does go back to that formula, I want them to have that, and then also have the Bowser Party with that formula, but with Bowser as the extra character. I'd say do that. Now as far as third parties go, I would like to see like a couple more games. I've heard rumors of Final Fantasy 15 being ported over as well as Final Fantasy 14. But the thing about Final Fantasy 14 is that it's a game that you have to play online all the time. So I think that will only work best when you're at home and you're playing docked. But what I've heard from those same rumors is that Square Enix wants to bring it over to Xbox One as well, because it's already out on PC and PS4. But they're going to have to do cross-platform. That's what they want to do. They want to do cross-platform. But I don't think they're going to get PS4. So it's going to be PC, Xbox One, Switch, all three of them together for the cross-platform multiplayer on Final Fantasy 14. And they have to use like everything. Like they should just pack everything into the Switch version, and then all future updates, the Switch will be getting them at the exact same time as like the other versions. That's what I would do. Final Fantasy 15, they're gonna have to rework that game and make sure that it runs on Switch. Because as it is, that game is super demanding that even on PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, it still has trouble running. Like it runs the best on PC. And even then, the thing is that that game runs on the Luminous engine. If they were to bring that game, rework it, and put it onto the Unreal Engine, then that's the best way they could put Final Fantasy 15 on Switch. So I would say that. I would like to see that. and then they would have to put like all the expansions that have been out already into the Switch version. So you waited this long, here you have everything that we have so far. Um, I do think that's going to open the floodgates for more Square games on Switch. I'm thinking we're going to get more smaller stuff and medium sized games. Like we're getting some stuff like we got I Am Setsuna, and we're going to get Lost Sphere. We're going to get Project Octopath Traveler. I want them to bring the Secret of Mana collection over from Japan, as well as the remake of the game from PS4 and Vita. Hopefully that comes out eventually. I think that was in development before the Switch was even a thing, so I could see why it wasn't released then. But a lot of people would demand games like that. Capcom, they have a lot of games under the belt. We know we have Mega Man 11 coming out on late 2018, so I'm looking forward to that. We also have Mega Man Legacy Collections 1 and 2. As I mentioned, I'm thinking it's coming out in March. And I'm thinking that Mega Man X games, I don't know if they're going to be separate or if they're going to be part of a collection. But whatever the case may be, I'm thinking if it's part of a collection, we're going to get it sometime later in the year. Like probably maybe like in the middle of the year or closer to the end. But if it's just separate games, I would just release them sporadically until you have all 8 of them there. I want to see what other original projects Capcom will bring. I've heard talks of Ace Attorney. Like, I've heard that they want to bring, like, some older Ace Attorney games, like the original trilogy, for example, and also a new game in the series, like Ace Attorney 7. Though I'm thinking what they should do is announce Ace Attorney 7 first, release the original trilogy as a way to hype people up, especially for those who have never played any of the Ace Attorney games before. So, but I would make it so that if you're playing on handheld mode, you get to use the touchscreen as if you're playing on the mobile versions. So that would work. But if you're playing docked, then you would use the Joy-Cons or the Pro Controller. But yeah, Ace Attorney fans would definitely be pleased. I would also want Capcom to bring Okami HD over. I don't expect them to bring Devil May Cry HD Collection over. And I'm thinking Devil May Cry 5 is going to be a PS4 exclusive. Console-wise, at least. I'm thinking we're going to get a lot of stuff from these third parties. Some late ports, but I think some of the late ports will actually be just as good on Switch. But there's some games where they end up having like really buggy ports. WWE 2K18 being one of the worst. So, to third parties, if you're going to bring stuff to the Switch, do not do what 2K did with WWE 2K18. I have this feeling that after that, we're probably not going to get any more WWE 2K games. Then again, at the same time, I've heard mixed things about those games anyway. Even when like THQ rebranded all their wrestling games into SmackDown versus Raw, they've been kind of hit and miss. But people still keep buying them because it's WWE. But that's another topic for another day. So I just want to see more games. I know people want Dragon Ball Fighter Z from Bandai Namco. I want it too on Switch. But if it happens, it's going to happen later because it's coming out this month on the other platforms. So if Switch gets it, it'll probably get it like maybe in the fall. If the thing is that all these companies have to optimize these games to make sure they work. Do not do what 2K did with WWE 2K18. Do something like what Panic Button has done with Doom. Sure, Doom on Switch runs at 30 frames per second, but it runs smoothly. It looks really good, even on handheld mode. And handheld mode, it's not like 1080p. It's not even 720p. It's like a little bit under, like 500 something. But on dock, it looks really good. It's 720p there. But it still looks good. It still plays good. So I'm expecting Wolfenstein to be no different because that's also being done by Panic Button. And they've done such a good job with Doom. They've also done Rocket League port on Switch. So I think they might be doing some more ports. They probably have a couple of teams doing that. So we'll see what happens with that. As far as other companies, I've heard of a Tales game being like talked about, but nothing came about it. but we'll see what Bandai Namco does with that. We know that there's that BlazBlue cross tag battle coming to Switch in addition to the PS4 and PC. If that comes out this year, I'm thinking it's going to come out like in like April or something. I think that's when it's going to come out, April. Like Arc System Works, they've done like a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool fighting games, and this looks like it's going to be another good one. Trying to think of what else. This is not like something where it's like, even though I'm hoping certain games come out on Switch, I'm not like begging people. I'm not like begging anyone to say, oh, I really do want these games. I'm not gonna like bend on my knees to do it. I'm just gonna be like, I would like this game to come out on Switch, and if it doesn't, whatever. Oh well, it is what it is. But there's just so much. There's a reason why I want games on Switch. It's not because, oh, you only want games on Switch because it's on a Nintendo platform. I mean, it would be nice to see some of these games on Nintendo systems, yes, but that's not why I want it. I want it because with the Switch, you could easily take any of these games with you anywhere you want. Let's say if you're going to work and you're commuting, you could play a game that you would normally play at home. It's like, and when you could just turn off the power and you can just turn it back on and you continue exactly where you left off. It's that seamless. It works. The thing is that people have their reasons why they want games on Switch. And the fact that you could take any of them with you, the portability factor, is the main reason for me. That's why I want these games on Switch. So I could take them with me anywhere and not have to feel like, oh, I'm just going to go home and then play these games. I'll wait then. It's like, I have the Switch right in my hand, and I have, like, for example, Super Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Doom. A game like Doom. The fact you could just take that with you. And you could just play, like, on the train. You could go to, like, a Starbucks and play while you're drinking coffee or something, while you're killing time. Whatever the case may be. Like, even if you're going on a plane ride, seriously, I'd say that's the thing. A lot of people want these games, but there are people like, oh, look at these guys. Like, Nintendo fans are the worst because they're asking for so many of these games on Switch because of Nintendo platform. It's really not. It's not even that. It's the fact that we can take them with us. That's the reason why we asked for that. I'm sorry that I decided to just ramble, but that's I just wanted to get that off my chest. Alright, so that's going to be the end of the video. I think I've talked long enough. So if you guys have any games you would like to see on Switch, if you guys have any ideas as to when certain games are coming out, if you have like any speculation or whatever on games, feel free to comment down below. I've rambled long enough. I said what I needed to say. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening to the whole thing. Be sure to like my video. Be sure to subscribe to me if you haven't. Check out my social media stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Good night, everyone.